Hello, 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 hello. Welcome to today's episode of Watch Sean dork around and try to explain something and fumble and screw up, and maybe you'll get something out of it, and maybe you'll just think that you should have watched a YouTube video instead. Today, I'm going to try showing you a few things about using the book module in Lightroom. So, to do so, the first thing you need is you just need your pictures within a collection. Okay, so over here, for example, I have a collection called Book Demo that I put together for this purpose. And of course, in the process, just started sliding photos in there and then started playing around with, pairings that I thought would work well and trying to sort of imagine a sequence. And I got, I don't know, through a little bit of it and then got frustrated but then realized that instead of perfecting it first, I should show you how the real world works, meaning I find that often it is helpful to make a book with too many things in it. And then within the book module, I like to move things around and really play because, again, part of what the challenge is the challenge of imagination, meaning like seeing the difference between, here, what do we got? 92 photos in this collection. Seeing the difference between 92 tiny little grids or pictures in a grid to imagining a book that has a cover that flips open and then there's just a page, right? Like just one by twos by one, etc. And so I'm going to show you how to create a book in a flawed form, because then within the book module you can continue to sort of play with the possibilities. So the first thing, and I'm assuming you've watched that Julianne Cost video that I told you to within the D2L post. It was good. It had some things in there that were too much. The captions, that kind of stuff. I don't think you need any of that. In fact, I would argue that if you have text in there, that text should be there for a reason. Okay, so here I've got a big old pile of pictures within a collection, and I want to start playing with it in book form. So the first thing I do is I go, instead of the library, I click on the book module, and boom, automatically everything's already broken and screwed up. Okay, now when I say broken and screwed up, what I mean by that is that it just laid the book out for me. I didn't do anything. It just laid the book out for me. Couple things about that. One, we can still change it. All right. Two, I want you to notice that the way that it deals with the cover is for the front, it just uses the first image that you've got in the grid. For the back cover, it uses the last picture you've got in the grid. You can still change those, right? And there are a lot of different cover options. I'm not going to worry too much about the cover part of things here. I do want you to notice this up here. This is really important. So you can see the book settings. Now you can create a PDF or you can choose blurb photo book. If you choose blurb photo book, this is where you can choose specific sizes. I would recommend go ahead and do this because there are a few different sizes here that are already formatted and ready to go. Okay, so the small square book, the standard portrait, so basically 7x7, 8x10 in the two orientations, landscape and portrait, and then you've got a large landscape and a large square. All right, for this book, I'm going to choose the standard portrait, change size and relayout, boom, there, just automatically redoes everything. Now I also want to point out that let's say that there's a little panic on my part and this isn't right. I can clear the layout and then I can choose whatever I want and hit auto layout. We'll talk more about the cover, paper type options, logo page when we talk in class. Now, I also want to point out she had zoom to fill in her presets, Julianne Cost in that video, which I hate because it changes the crop of the photo to match the page size, which any purist will tell you that you worked very hard on making that photo perfect in terms of your cropping and shooting, etc. So it's don't change the orientation of the photo to match the container that the photo is going in. Also, where are, oh, the presets. You can also edit the auto layout presets. She shows you that in the video. This is good to know and it's good to play with because when it says zoom to fit, that means your photo is going to fit the cell. So the key is you choose the right size cell for the job. I'm going to point out that like this, for example, is the size cell for my photos with my current camera. This over here, so this is longer and skinnier. This is probably the right one for most of you. This is the standard sort of 35mm 6:9 ratio right here. So that's probably the one that you want. There are options, where are they? Up above, where you can go all the way up off the top of the page, etc. Okay, so there are a lot of different options here for you. But again, I would err on the side of clean, simple, and keep the correct orientation or proportion to your photos. Okay, mine was also set to 1 photo per page rather than multiple photos per page. Now let's just go ahead and hit auto layout again, and boom, here it is. This is that collection that I had, but now it has used that auto layout to put 1 photo in the right spot. I can't remember honestly if these are perfectly centered or if maybe they have a little extra weight on the bottom. A couple things I want to show you though. So let's see, whoops. Go up here to the top one. I do want to show you that you can click on a photo and you can zoom that photo in or out. If you have a photo that is the wrong size, I don't think I'm going to have this problem in any of these. If you have a photo, for example, there's a 35mm photo, but within this orientation of the page, some of it might get cropped out. You just want to check and make sure that when you go to zoom right here, it should be at 0. That means you're seeing the whole photo and that there's not a little more of the photo outside the edge. Now, other things that you should know are, and in the Scott Kelby video, by the way, he talks about how you can adjust the scale of these photos and change them and move them around, etc. That's fine if that's what you want to do. Ed Pinar, for example, in that installation view that we were talking about, he does that kind of thing. Here, I just want this clean, so I'm not going to screw any of that up. I do want to point out that if you have different photos, say from different cameras that might have a different proportion, you can still change the page layout of any individual photo, right there. So you go below, you click that tab, and then you find a little button to do so. What else do you need to know? Oh, here's what you need to know. I want you to note that, let's see, where do I find, there's blank, 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 blank. Oh, add blank. I want to show you that you can add blank pages. So over here on the right in the page section, you can add blank pages. Now to move a page, you grab, think of it as a little handle here. You grab that handle and you can kind of move that around, okay? So here, I'm going to drag this blank. There may have been a way to just create a blank where I was, but I'll go ahead and use this long, stupid way. So I just want you to see that there, I just created a blank. Oh, yeah, okay. So on a Mac, if I hit Control click, I'm sure if you right click, then you get these other options where you can add a blank page that way. Boom, there we go. Or what else can you do there? Copy layouts, remove page, say this custom page. Yeah, and another way to remove a page is if you have it active and just hit delete, then nothing happens. So that is not another way to remove a page. That's just a way to pretend you know something that you don't. Oh, here's one that I want to make sure you are aware of. So in my case, let's go here. Boom. Here we are. Whew. Boom. Boom. I don't like that. I don't like how small it is. That ain't right. That ain't right for me. So what I'm going to do is I want you to see that you can also take a photo and you can create a spread. If you go to 2-page spreads, you've got multiple options there. Now this one is a full bleed all the way out to the edge. Something's going to get lost in that process. This here evens the white space out. But you can also shift your photo around a little bit if you need to. I don't know. Let's see. Boom, boom. There we go. Yeah, I don't know. That's pretty good. Let's go back here. So all of a sudden, this is a way that you can kind of go from one to the next, and boom. I think that in the same way that we've talked about in terms of building a sequence, varying the distance to get in and out and show us stuff close up and then pull back and show stuff further away. Think about that as you are working on creating a little sequence with your book here. Because think about the books that you currently have been looking at and how bold that can be when you turn the page and boom, there's a big old lovely spread. Let's see here. I'm going to pause this recording and dork around a little bit, and then I will resume and show you. You know what? I'm gonna stop this recording, dork around a little bit, and then I'll make a second version where I show you exporting.